So as these crazy wildfires rage in the West, California Governor Gavin Newsom and scientists met with you-know-who, pleading with him to acknowledge that climate change is causing all of this. But he has other ideas as to what's to blame. Take a look.
With regard to the forests, when trees fall down after a short period of time, about 18 months, they become very dry. They become really like a matchstick, and they get up, there's no more water pouring through, and they become very, they just explode. They can explode.
If we ignore that science and sort of put our head in the sand and think it's all about vegetation management, we're not going to succeed together protecting Californians.
Okay, it'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
Well, I don't think science knows, actually.
I mean, I don't even know what to say.
Oh, God.
I don't even know what to say. How does that explain the 45 hurricanes coming through in line? I mean, what do you make of this, Joy?
What can you say? He's so stupid. Oh, I mean, if you read the New York Times today, which I did this morning, it's doomsday scenario coming 2040 to 2060. They said things are going to happen. Extreme humidity in Arizona and parts of the Midwest. You won't be able to go out of the house and work. And there's going to be fires. They're going to be bigger in the Northwest, the South, the Southwest. The sea levels are going to rise, which affects 50 million people. Meanwhile, this guy withdraws from the Paris Agreement. He rolls back methane pollution regulations. He lowers emission standards. He tells us that science is useless and that trees are exploding, that there is no coronavirus, and who wants us to ingest bleach. This guy has more ways of killing us than an Agatha Christie novel.
God, it's
What
on
about
Tuesday.
you, Sonny?
He's killing us.
Sonny, what's going through your mind as you hear this and watch all of this?
You know, I find it terrifying, actually, Whoopi, that you have the President of the United States saying that he doesn't think scientists know. Obviously, he thinks he knows better than the scientists. And if you look at the data, the overwhelming majority of the world scientists, we're talking 97%, right, are at a consensus that the Earth's climate warming trends are likely due to human activity over the last century. So the science community agrees that climate change is real. And for the first time, I think, in my life, the administration has politicized science. And this president has politicized science. And I think that is a very dangerous place to be. And we know that because of the coronavirus. He has politicized the CDC. Think about the fact that he has put in Michael Caputo as the head spokesperson
we're gonna
for
talk
the
about
CDC.
That.
I mean, that, is that
yeah,
the next segment? Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, my concern then is just the politicizing of science, it's like Joy said, it's killing Americans.
Yeah. Do you feel the same way, Sarah? Because it just keeps, the hits just keep on coming. I mean, trees exploding. I mean, what's your thoughts?
Well, kind of to go along with what Joy said, not even reading into one particular article, I was just going through the headlines of my news feed, and you've got the fires on the West Coast. You've got a hurricane actually coming in now in the Southeast. We had an earthquake in New Jersey last week. My home state of Iowa and my hometown, Newton, was ripped apart by derecho. You look at this, and when I was growing up, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a season. For us, it was the tornado season, and it came and it went. Now these things are happening year-round and at a volume that, although they're natural disasters, the rate of occurrence is so unnatural. And to hear that you've got people that are debating whether this still exists, and that's clearly a political play, because when you look at all the money wrapped up in a lot of the companies like big oil, and it suits the economy to just keep burning things and not worrying about it. You know, this has been going on for decades, though, that people have denied this is happening. The fact that it still remains the case today is pretty disturbing, because the problem isn't debatable. The solution may be, but there is no question that the Earth is warming.
Right. So, Megan, you think the issues are not what voters are are thinking about at this time. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the press conference with Gavin Newsom yesterday, and he conceded that what's going on in California also has a lot to do with forest management and a prevention of having controlled burns. I'm not a forester. I don't pretend to completely understand this, but fire management has been a big issue as well, which was brought up, and both sides agreed that this was an issue. Look, if climate change were the #1 issue for voters, and I can't remember his name, I forgot, the billionaire with the Christmas tie who came on our show who only ran on climate change, he would be the nominee right now. And 60% of Republicans, 60, say climate change isn't affecting their communities. And it's easy to blame President Trump for this, but this issue has been politicized for a long, long time. And I can go back to blaming people who I think have altruistic intentions, but when it's doomsday porn every single day and our lives are going to be flooded and it's the end of the world every single year, people start to tune out. And I'm sorry, COVID, the economy, and social unrest is going to be the bread and butter issue that get people elected one way or the other. And I understand there's a lot of Democrats, a lot of people on the left, that it's their issue. I hope I'm still allowed to appear on the show when I say it is. I'm one of those. It's not that I don't believe in climate change. I do, but this is not the issue I will be voting on come November.
Well, what's interesting about what you're saying is that I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. The whole issue may not affect other people, but if your family has been burned out, if your family has died from COVID, if your family has been burned and everything you own is gone, this may be an issue that affects you in a way that it doesn't affect other people. Also, you know, that cloud of smoke is now traveling across the country. So if your quality of air ends up in the toilet and you're in a state where that would not be happening less for the fires, this may be something that attracts you and says, oh, okay, this might be something I'm interested in. I think it's really important to recognize that there are, on the left side of our country, there's an entire set of states that are burning right now, whether it's from lightning or something that somebody did as a gender reveal. And on this side, there are hurricanes lined up to come hit the East Coast. Something is happening.
That's right.
Something is happening, and if all of this is happening, if stores are burning down and places can't open because of the devastation from the hurricanes, that becomes economic as well. So this is something I think everybody really doesn't need to be your first priority, but you need to pay attention to it because it's going to affect you one way or the other. That's my thought.